Cox for Christ. We have a very special guest today. We have Joe Cunningham, the one and only, the Hollywood star.
Blur his face out. Go black.
Thanks for joining us.
Distort his voice.
Yeah, I mentioned before that I'm a fan of the show and I've listened to a lot of different episodes, smoking weed in my car. So now here I am, smoking weed on the show. So it's pretty surreal, to be appreciate it.
No, thank you for joining us.
Oh,
Can't wait to learn all about your time and what you're doing now.
Yeah, I've been panicking all week just thinking about what to say.
Well,
no need to panic.
Yeah, we hope it comes naturally. But like you said, it can be triggering in some ways and therapeutic in others. So how many years were you in ICUS? You said one?
I was 1 year in ICUS. I always say that I was in the seminary for 7 years, but I was in for 6 years and 3 months or something like that. But yeah, I was in ICUS for 1 year.
Okay. So then you did senior year at ICUS and then you stayed on for another 5 years and a few months.
Yeah.
What was your experience like? What was your sorry, these are general question, but I don't know much about your story.
Okay. Shit, it's hard to say.
What brought you to the Legion?
Well, I was in the boys' clubs from when I was little. Parents, they were, their families were Catholics. They grew up Catholic. And my parents were kind of like hippie Catholics in the 80s and shit like that. And then they were family friends with the Lachlan's, Patrick and Ben and Chris. Anyway, so they got us in. They were like, oh, we found this new Catholic thing that makes you more Catholic than anybody else. It's great. And it takes care of your kid, saves them from all this sex, drugs, and rock and roll and going on in Catholic schools today. So
all the fun.
Yeah. But they were friends with the Bisgrove family. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
It's Brian Bisgrove. He started Conquest and all that stuff.
Yep.
Just like a hop, skip, and a jump. From Syracuse, where I live, where I'm from. And so I got involved in that at a young age. And, as we learned later, they were like Fuentes or whatever, the pools, the sources for recruitment. So that's exactly, what was going on. But I remember, I had a lot of good times. I was in those from when I was like 11 or 12. And then I became like a leader in them. And I got shipped around to be like a camp counselor at the camps and shit like that. And that was really fun in a way. And I was with Father Kermit. I was like one of his people at his camps and shit like that. And then Brian Bisgrove's friend, successor or something for the clubs, was with me on a camp, and we had this conversation, and he was like, I was like so worried about like life and shit and so sheltered. We were homeschooled our last 5 years of high school and all that kind of shit. And and so I was like, oh, what am I going to do with my life and stuff? And I was like, what happens if I miss my vocation? Like if I, the whole guilt trip thing. And he was like, oh, all these souls are going to be lost if you don't give God the first chance. So of course, yada, yada, yada. I joined ICUS, and I was really motivated. Like my first year, second year, maybe I got shipped off to Dublin for novitiate, which beautiful country. I would never live there again. It's freezing, but it's beautiful. And I was there for 2 years, and that's where I had like my first mental breakdown. They, how novitiate is. They're trying to get you. They got me. pretty bad. And so when I came back, I was like, I went from being like the gung ho, whatever you want to, in the Marines, they call it a motard, motivational, whatever. And yeah, anyway, so I came back like a broken horse or whatever, and I came back to Cheshire, did 2 years of humanities, just started kind of unraveling at the seams. I go over to Thornwood for philosophy, and then, shit hits the fan with Maciel and shit like that. And then everybody was kind of unraveling, and I told Kevin Meehan that I wanted to go home. He tried to convince me to stay, and they shipped me off to Philadelphia for like a month just to keep an eye on me while I could get my vows dismembered or whatever you call that. And then I got sent home. That's what happened with that.
Oh wow.
And then-
What stage were you at in Philadelphia? What were you, a novice still?
I was
No.
technically still in philosophy. Yeah. And yeah, but I would have gone to practice. I was second year of philosophy actually. So I would have gone to apostolic practices like the year after that. Thank God.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
They almost had you.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
longer
why-
you're in.
Yeah. I think I wanted to be there for like a week. And after that, I was just white knuckling it for 7 years. I mean, honestly, fuck,
Yeah. It's kind of how they operate a lot of times. They
Yeah.
want to get you in, and then once you're in, they guilt you to stay in.
Oh my God. I have this is kind of early on to say this, but I have like extreme PTSD. That's all. So that's what the movie that I'm making is about. And I have this recurring nightmare. Well, I have multiple, but this is one of them. And you guys will understand this. Nobody else really does. But I'm like in the Legion somewhere, like in Cheshire or something. And I forget I even have a kid. Like I'm back in the day. And I'm in the halls and shit, and the door's wide open. And it's like a bright sunny day. You can see the green soccer field. You can see the road out, on the other side of the soccer field. I talked to another ex, and he said he has the same nightmare. Anyway, different circumstances. But anyway, so you're in there, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm doing my life stuff, like taking care of the kitchen and going to class and singing Gregorian chant and shit like that. But I don't want to be there. But I have to be there, and I can't fucking leave. And sometimes it lasts. I don't know how long it lasts, but sometimes it feels like it's like Inception. Sometimes it's feel like I'm in there for like a year, and then I wake up in a cold sweat, and it takes me like 4 seconds to even remember I have a son, even though he's sleeping right next to me because he had a nightmare, and crawled in the bed right next to me. So it's just I spend the rest of the day like shaking after that. But that's nobody really understands that shit,
Yeah.
because they had you in their head. In your head, they had you. You know what I'm saying? They'll deny it too. They'll be like, I remember Father Bayeres, he was like, brothers,
Brother.
you want to go home? You go home. It's like fucking bullshit. That they had you by the balls. You know what I mean?
It's like,
Yeah.
if you want to go home, but then you ask and they're like, no, you don't need to go home. It's like,
Oh my God.
what
Yeah,
are you
don't be
talking
so-
about?
Don't be selfish.
Don't
Wait
be
until
soft.
Think of all the souls that would be lost because of
think of
you.
all the souls.
Think of all the fucking souls. I when you asked me like the first question, like, what do you think of it? I mean, there was a lot of great things that I got to do and people that I know, whatever. But like, I got like crippling PTSD and but I got a beautiful kid and I wouldn't have him like any other way, like circumstance wise, so I would never like go back in time and like stop myself from doing it. You know what I mean? It's crazy like that. It's crazy.
Do you ever still feel like deeply responsible for others? Like that kind of, I still sometimes feel that kind of like, oh, I owe that to this person to do X, Y, or Z. And I think it stems a lot from that, like, God forbid I not save one soul or some of that weird mentality.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I was talking to Kevin, my brother Kevin, and my brother Ben. He's my youngest brother, but he's like my older brother. Anyway, but Ben wasn't in, but he was in the East Hoodie and shit. But yeah, like we were, like they basically taught us to fuck ourselves, for others.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you like how many girls like I paid, their entire like whatever, when I was starting out, even though we were just friends, be like, oh, here's all the money I made this month, or like, here's like, you cut off your left arm for somebody, even though I think I'm going to need that later, but no, you can have it. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ.
Like, it's not important to me right now.
Oh my God. Like there's no, took a while to be able to like tell people no, to be able to like,
do stuff for yourself.
Yeah, stick up for yourself. Do something for yourself and not feel bad. I still like my son was like, Dad, I wonder what you're gonna get for Christmas. Is he sleeping? Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. Anyway, he's like, Dad, maybe Santa will bring you something for Christmas. And I was like, gosh, maybe he will. So I'm in the store, like, what the fuck do I get for myself? And I don't have anything that I want. And like, and I'm like, and that's like directly from the Legion, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's like I'm
My
happy
friend-
with what I have. I don't need anything else. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's good and it's bad, but like, it's like, you don't think about yourself like at all, and to your detriment sometimes. My friend at work was like, she's like, I always ask people, like, if your house burned down, what's the one thing, and all your loved ones were safe, what's the one thing you would go in and get? I was like, nothing, because took these vows. Like, that's the sad thing though. Like, they made us like renounce our family and friends. And I told I used not nice words, but I like basically told my parents one time, like, that I don't have a family anymore. Like, I literally am attached to no one and nothing except for my kid, and it's like, and that you can't it's hard to keep friends. It's hard to care about other people, because you kind of gave that shit up. But I mean, that's kind of the opposite of what you said. Like, I do care about other people, but it's like, they're souls, they're not like people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the weirdest part, that like it is contradictory elements to it. Like, you're supposed to care so much that like but like also you're supposed to detach emotionally from people. So it's like a weird fucking.
You're a Jedi Knight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a robot.
Yeah, it's very strange, man. The way I had to relearn love. Like, even the fact that I still ask myself, like, who am I? Who do I want to be? I'm like, that's a weird fucking question. Like, you just be yourself. Like, that's not
Right.
Well, that's like my therapist was asking me that. She's like, well, who are you? And I'm like, I have no clue. I have no fucking clue.
that's why I'm here.
Like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I figured it out. Okay.
I remember getting out and being deathly afraid of, because how it was like, it was always God's will. It was not like what we wanted to do. So I was getting out, and I was like talking to my spiritual director. I can't fucking remember who it was, but I was like, I'm so nervous. And they're like, why? And I was like, I'm nervous that God is. This is good. I'm never gonna be famous for this shit, but I was like, I'm nervous that God is gonna want me to marry a fat woman. Like, what the fuck?
It's God's will, brother.
Like, you have no sense of like yourself, because you're only focused on God's will, and it's like, Christ.
Oh man, just resign to the fact that you're going to have to marry a fat bottom girl.
Just like whatever God wants. I don't think I use that word. I think, but the whole idea is like, if you're not attracted to them, you're gonna have to marry them because it's God's will. And it was like, are you kidding me? But no, when I got out, I was still pretty brainwashed, and it's so weird talking to Legionnaires that are still in, because like I care about them and like they were brothers of mine, but like you're not gonna find common ground there. At least I'm not. I'm gonna have a hard time finding it anyway. But what was I driving at? When I got out, I was pretty brainwashed, and I tried to even start like Young Men's Regnum Christi in Syracuse with Father Daniel Brandenburg back in the day, and I was like, because I was trying to like follow in Brian Bisgrove's footsteps, and like I had this big guilt trip that I wasn't gonna do anything redeeming with my life, or I had to impress the Regnum Christi circles and those people and shit like that. And I was going to college, and I was trying to get into the Marine Corps officer program. Ben Wagner actually went in. He just became a major. He got in like right before I was trying to get in, and then I met my kid's mom. It's a whole nother story, and she didn't want me to go, so I didn't do it. And then when I had my son, and we got divorced like 5 minutes later. That was a joke. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was
No, it
going to
landed.
go again. I would drive him anyway, and not funny him. But anyway, so I would get divorced, and I just wanted to get the fuck out of Dodge. So I tried to get back in, but then I realized, what the fuck am I doing? I got to stick around for the kid. So that's, and at that point, I kind of lost respect with those circles that were supposed to see you do something with your life, what I'm saying? But I was like, fuck that. Fucking.
Yeah. I remember trying to earn the respect of the Regnum Christi crowd after leaving the Legion.
Yeah.
And I did a pretty good job of it too. We had a retreat in Mount Kisco. I don't know if you remember the house in Mount Kisco.
Oh yeah. Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Yeah.
I named my kid after Harrison Ford, so I had to know that. Somebody had to tell me. I cut you off.
There was a retreat, and I was cooking for the retreat, and so like maybe four or five ladies from New Hampshire got there, and then it started snowing, and the priest didn't come to the retreat, and no one else came to the retreat. It was just these four ladies and me in Mount Kisco. And the priest called me, and he was like, "Can you do the meditations and stuff?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I led a retreat fresh out of the Legion.
Shit, yeah.
So it wasn't that hard. Like it was like, I could do it. I'd only been a novice, but I did it, and I impressed them, and I was like, "Joke's on you, I'm an atheist." But I just remember trying to impress that crowd.
It's like some Maciel shit. Like, joke's on you, I'm a pedophile.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to like fuck with the meditation a little bit, like throw some little curveballs at the audience as they're meditating. That'd be kind of fun.
You do like DMX lyrics, but like slowly. What I mean? I don't even know any lyrics off the top of my head, but that would be funny.
That'd be really good.
Be great.
Oh man. It's been a while. They put me in. I wasn't in charge, but I worked with Father Martin Connor my last summer with the coworkers, like training the coworkers, and so I had to give a lot of talks and meditations and shit. And I was always like super fucking nervous. But looking back, and this is something I'm diving pretty deep here, but this is something I think about a lot recently. Is like I was a part of like the machine that like fucked people up, and like and even after I got out, like I was still, took me 5 years to even realize that anything that had happened was wrong. It took me 5 years. And even after all the bullshit had come out, so I think about that a lot, like, caring about other people, like shit, maybe there's some guy out there who is fucked up just as much as me because of me.
What was the thing that kind of turning point where you were like, oh, that wasn't cool?
Oh, for Maciel?
Or the Legion in general?
Legion in general? Oh, shit. I don't even know. I think I dropped religion and the Legion kind of at the same time. But then, of course, there was like the brainwashing and no. Actually, I'm dusting off the memories now. It was like the whole. So you have, you got the church and you got priests and shit like that. But then you got the Legion, and it's like a different animal. And then we got our vow of charity. So you see that this whole organization was like designed for this guy to do this. And we were like hardwired like nobody else, you know what I'm saying? And I would talk to, Dawson seminarians or I think Joe Rodriguez is a Jesuit now and Dominic Sternhagen is a Benedictine. I don't even know, but they weren't like mentally tortured like we were as much, So you see, like, I remember reading the quote and thinking about this a lot that Maciel wrote or stole, but he definitely wrote this one where he said, if I didn't become, such a godly man, basically rubbing his balls there, that I would have been like the worst villain of all time, the worst, criminal of all time. And it's like, well, guys,
irony.
Literally
Oh
right
my
here.
God, that's amazing. Oh my God, can we post this quote like oh my God.
Hidden in plain sight, you know what I mean? Like hidden in plain goddamn sight.
Well, that's an episode title right there. Holy fuck, dude. That's wild.
No. But I don't remember the exact words, but that was the gist. And so that kind of just seeing the whole organization as something like that, you recruit kids. I don't care how old they are. You're bringing them into these, even in the boys club. I can't tell you like how many like American History X speeches I gave at the boys clubs. That I was just like so coked out on Jesus. That like kids had to just hook, line, and sinker it right there. Like, are you giving God the first chance, young man? And then giving him the fire and brimstone. He went home like his butthole was smoldering after that shit. You know what I mean? And I did that. But like they were all there, like I'm shaking the hands of all their moms, in a pure way.
Yeah, in a pure way.
Even in the Legion doing that shit. I remember I went to the summer program and I was 12 years old. Ben Wagner's dad kind of conned me into it. He conned my parents to con me into it. He was like, well, tell him it's a summer camp and he only has to go for like a week and then like make him stay. So first that's just fucked. Let's just get that out of the way. That's just fucked up. Mm-hmm. And so I go up, I'm nervous as shit. Like when I was little, I was shy as shit. I didn't want to be there. I was counting down the days to get out of there. And like one of the last days, because they were all like keeping tabs on like who's going, who's staying and all that kind of shit. And like one of the last days, I remember this kind of like overweight brother who left like a couple of years later, but he was like one of the sidekicks. He was on apostolic practices. He got me downstairs in the locker room for like 4 hours yelling at me about how I had to stay and I was letting God down, not giving Jesus the first chance. And I'm crying like 12 years old. Like he's like, and then I think I got on the phone with my dad and my dad was like wanting me to stay. He's like, we really want you to stay, because they get points with the Braden Christies if they got kids in the schools, they look better. And I was like,
about status.
Yeah. And I was like, Dad, I was like crying on the phone. Like I wanted to say I was manly about it, but I'm crying on the phone. And he came and picked me up and, sure enough, they got me back in 5 years.
Wow.
That's just fucked, man. I wanted to have
Yeah.
a normal life. You know, I'm glad that it happened because I have my kid, but that's about it. You know, we all like, they trained us to be like natural born killers or whatever, you know, like, so you basically could do, they fucked you up enough to where like you can't get out of bed half the year, but they gave you this like skill set where you have to like go, you know, be a worldwide assassin and shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
basically what I'm saying is like, if you wanted to do something when you got out, you had the skills to do it, but you were like that fucked up kid that went to like assassin school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry,
And-
I have these very blunt thoughts.
No, it's real. And I think it's something we've experienced in some way or another. You know, you feel like you have the skill set to do anything, but at the same time you have the emotional fortitude of like a 5-year-old because you just been broken.
Absolutely.
But
Shutdown. Fortunately, my son is not going to see that.
sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I have like a mental breakdown like every other year now because of that shit. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Oh shoot.
yeah, and it's like my son has never had to see that, but it's like debilitating. And I've gotten fired from every regular job I ever had, you know, and it's like because you just at some point you just unwind and kind of blow your top,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like nobody understands. You know, I'm making a film right now about a veteran with PTSD because that's the only way anybody would really get it. You know what I'm saying? But and then during the Q&A after,
Your film career is inspiring, man.
it's not really a career. I just
I think
love-
it is. I mean, you do it regular
Passion.
enough. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
your
passion.
passion.
It's
Sorry,
like,
yeah.
but no, I appreciate it. Thank you. I was inspired by my brother Ben, who has been making his own music in his garage forever, and like he doesn't often think it's good, but I think it's amazing, and puts on like really great shows and stuff. Anyway, so I was like, you know, I always want to be an actor. You know, like before the Legion, it was kind of a thing, and so yeah, now I'm doing it, but it's kind of like very amateur, but we it's like when we did the panegyrics and the academies, you know, and we had to get up and give holy hour and stuff. I took that shit like so fucking seriously, and I used to get in trouble for how dramatic I got with it. You know what I mean? Like I would be, but it was so like I was so committed, you know, and that I just had to, you know, I watched On the Waterfront, you know, Marlon Brando and Serpico with Al Pacino, and there's something that they do. There's like a magic there that you can. There's a power there that when I'm doing that, when I'm acting, that's the only time, besides when I look at my kid, that, you know, my life makes sense. There's a moment. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. There's a moment in the movie we just did, which wasn't really planned, but my character is on a bridge and he has this kind of like I don't know what you call it. It's like Shawshank Redemption or like Platoon. He like screams, and he's a heroin addict, so he's kind of in desperation. And we did it in 2 takes, you know, and I just everything. My brother Ben, he told me, he was, because we just showed it, and he was like, I could see everything that you had ever been through, like in that moment, you know. So I'd be a shit actor if we didn't get tortured in the Legion. That's the moral of the story.
Dude, I
truth, though?
completely relate, man. And it's funny that they gave you shit for it, your passion in Legion, because like self-expression was so frowned upon.
Right? You had to do a good job, but you had to do it like a fucking robot. you know,
Yeah, if you were
had
like
a
too
little bit of
expressive,
you
it's
could be like Siri, but you know, you could change your tone, but not that much.
Yeah.
You had to do it like all the classes.
be yourself,
before you.
but just not so much.
I remember that people used to say to us like all the time, like, you guys talk the same. You know what I mean? You guys like, we had these like this cadence, you know what I mean? It was weird. I guess in
Yeah.
the military, they kind of get a Southern drawl. You know, they have a similar pop to things, but like, I don't know. It's all a cult to me, man. It's not cool.
Yeah.
Not
There are a lot of similarities, I think, between the military and the Legion as far as
Right.
the experience and how people handle it afterwards.
Do y'all feel like a similar thing with me where you feel like you've gone the opposite way now, where you're like so fiercely independent, you like struggle to like connect with people now because you're like, oh, I don't want to like conform ever to anything ever.
Oh my
Like
God,
that's
dude.
kind of my thing, you know?
I remember used to one of my first jobs. I was a banquet server at a hotel downtown, and we used to take all our tips and just blow them after the top. And this one SUV comes up, and a bunch of the guys and girls from work are in it, and they're like, "Joe, come on, come on in." And I had this like crazy aversion to getting into that van, and just now I'm thinking that's what that was, because there was no reason why I shouldn't get in there. But
Dude, anytime there's like a work event where they're like, oh, we're family, or like, you know, like there's like work events off campus, I'm like, fuck this.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
And they're being nice. They're nice people. Like, I just fuck them.
I was in corporate, and we did one of these like company Olympics, and I was gonna like fucking have a nervous breakdown like right there in the middle of the thing. Everybody was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, "You have no idea."
I swear to God, if there's crab walking in this, I'm out.
Starts chanting.
Drive by a soccer field. We got a lot of snow here, right? When I drive by a soccer field, and it's winter time, I freak out, because they used to make us go out and play like in the ice and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even like working out anymore. Like, I'm just like, I've already done my time, like hiking and all that shit. Like, fuck off.
I still like hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. See,
Yeah.
I kind of do too, TBH. Yeah, I guess it was a lie.
I like to run. When I got into the Legion, I was trying to be a Marine for when I was like, because Kevin would bring home these war books, and the Marines book was one of them. Anyway, so I was like doing my whole routine and shit. And I remember when I got to ICUS, like Father David wouldn't let me do that shit anymore. So like that really, I gained like 50 pounds, and like I hated my life. I wasn't into, the team sports as much as like doing my own thing, I don't know what it was. Shit, I think about a lot of those guys, like, a bunch of them are dead now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. The kind of time went by, that we're like the narrator in Stand By Me right now, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that much time has gone by.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm rambling.
No. Sorry.
You guys all in the same.
That's what this is for. Just talk, man.
I feel so self-conscious of it. Like,
we've all been to there. I mean,
like I'm in spiritual direction, but there's 3 priests instead of 1. It's like Jesus.
Yeah, we
I
all
can see
had
that.
weird. Do you have any weird spiritual direction stories? Because we all seem to have a weird one with Father David, at least.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yeah. No, he was just like, I don't know. He was like, he's probably listening to this shit.
That's okay.
I hope
If he
so.
is, yeah.
Shout out Father David Stephanie.
I don't know. It was like, it was terrifying. You know what I mean? Fuck. Like I wasn't scared of him in the beginning. but he made a point to like go at me. Reminds me of my ex-wife.
Yeah, just
Maybe that's
those-
why you married her. No, I'm kidding. You remind me of my speech director.
Shit.
Give me piety grades, baby.
I remember so I'm addicted to watching movies. That's what my mom says. And so I remember we watched a bunch of movies when I got home from Thanksgiving break, which was the first break, And we got back, and I don't know how Father David like came right at me. It's like, how many movies did you watch? And I cannot tell live, Father David. I watched like 5 or something, which was like an ungodly number. And he chewed out my parents. They were like fucking crying. And they and my mom told me later, like, we felt like we should have taken you home then. And I was like, why the fuck didn't you? Like, 'cause they knew it was, they knew it was fucked up then.
Wow.
May I ask what movies? Now I'm curious.
It was like Master and Commander or some shit like that. My dad would like stand in front of the television if any girl showed her tits or something like that. So, we didn't have a lot of range there, but good movie.
That's
though.
funny.
Peter Weir, what a director.
I can almost
Yeah.
picture your dad like arguing with Father David. No, don't worry. I stood in front of the TV at that part. Like, don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. And then Father David like chewed his ass out.
Wow. I can't believe it's just so weird to me that they're struggling for vocations. They're struggling for numbers, and then they're still willing to chew out parents. Like,
I don't know. It's I think it's just like it's part of it. You know what I mean? It's like we need to initiate you into the cult. We need to further separate you from your children.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think about like religion in general, Christianity. It's like, okay, this is built on the story that Abraham was supposed to kill his son for God. You fucking kidding me? Nobody's gonna ask me to kill my son.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, your whole religion is built on that shit. Something wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
You said that the Legion and the Catholicism fell apart for you relatively soon after, correlated. Do you think Catholicism fell off for when you started noticing the similar trends that you noticed in the Legion?
Yeah, I remember. It kind of fell off habitually. Like I stopped practicing before I changed my ideology. You know what I'm saying? The first one happened a lot sooner than the second one. I remember being in church with my son after my divorce, and like, little kids, they got to be in like the atrium or whatever they call that shit, and just getting stink eye from people. I don't know why, but just feeling like now I'm not in the fold. And I had gotten, I don't know how to explain that. And then also, I don't know if I want to say this next part, but this priest tried to date me and gave me a lot of money not to tell anybody about it. But I didn't do anything. I didn't even know what was going on. And I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, putting 2 and 2 together. Like, I'd already been through that kind of shit. You know what I mean? In the Legion. Nothing against homosexuals. My son is gay. And I'm so fucking proud of him. Like, he came out, he's 8 years old. Came out in the summer. And he told me this story. He's like, Dad, I was in the playground with my mom, and I was in the park, and I just had this really good feeling. And I knew I was gay. And I hugged him, and I was like, I'm so happy for you. You know what I mean? Like, and my parents would have like cut his balls off and hung him from the nearest church tower. You know what I mean? If it was one of us.
Yeah.
But like he I'm so proud of him. And so I wrote this big like epistle to the family, telling them they better not tell him like love the sinner and hate the sin or any of that fucking bullshit. My uncle died of AIDS. He was gay, and he died when we were in the seminary. We weren't allowed to go see him, or obviously he was dead, so we weren't allowed to go to the funeral. He was such a good guy, and we weren't really like allowed to know that he was gay, but he had always had like a guy friend. And he was so nice, and he would like do anything for anybody. And anyway, but I remember being like super homophobic as a kid because we were kind of like raised that way. And so after my uncle died and I got out of the seminary, time went by, I started watching like movies. Like I watched Call Me by Your Name, which was just a really terrible movie. The last scene, he deserves the Oscar for the last scene. But I watched Brokeback Mountain, and I remember just using Brokeback Mountain as a joke my whole life. Even in the seminary and shit like that. And then like that was like one of the best movies I've ever seen, and I cried like so much. And I could just, it was my uncle, and that was my son, but that was another reason why I left the church, because you can't love who you love, and that's fucking stupid. You think that like I'm gonna go to hell because I masturbated or didn't go to church on Sunday? Are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean? And then like you can't love who you love. You know what I mean? Like that's why I left. I wasn't gonna say this, but I've only told like 2 people this, but like I hugged a brother and it was like sexual. That's why. And then I went to confession, and the priest was like, well, we think that you should leave. And Kevin Meehan was like, no. And I was like, but I was super confused about it forever, because I would have, I don't know if you guys had these experiences. It was kind of like being in prison or like the military. There's only dudes around. And then like when that one Regnum Christi woman comes in, you get like a boner the size of like, a bus. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just, anyway, but like, so there's this guys around. And I remember my spiritual director told me that, or not, my superior, he was like, well, the Mexicans, they don't get a balanced, the poor ones, they don't get a balanced diet, so they don't hit puberty until like their mid-20s or late 20s. So they look like, for lack of a better word, they look like girls when they're like adults, like your age right now. And I was like, it was just so weird. So I struggled with that for a long time. And there would always be like a brother that I was attracted to, like at different times, and I would like go through all this like heartbreak and shit like that. It was so fucking weird. But and I wanted to go home and just like bang a bunch of bitches. It was just so weird. I had this fantasy that I would go out into this is really getting in there, but I had this fantasy that I would go out in my cassock on Halloween night and knock on some like, hot mom's house and like bang her and shit like that. In the seminary, that's what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Like, because you're so fucking repressed.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business. You know what I mean? Like, that's just unnatural. But anyway, so I struggled with that for a long time. But then like my son and, just kind of getting out of the whole brainwashing and the whole like thing about like marrying an ugly bitch, if it's God's will, like you just, like I remember, you learn a lot of things teaching your son things. And I was just like, well, this is what it means to be heterosexual. This is homosexual, and this is bisexual. And you don't decide, you discover it. And it's a beautiful thing. And I was like, geez, like that's the end of that, because I'm just like, oh, I'm attracted to women. And, I was in the seminary.
No matter what you choose, great. Like,
you know what I mean?
Happy.
You know what I mean? But I'm in the seminary, they really get in there in your, in your head, and you're just like, there's this, I don't know, you're just like bouncing on the walls, you know what I mean, from all the repression, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that.
100%, man. Yeah.
It's like
I've already talked about my experiences too much on here, but I can relate very much to everything you said there.
it's like if you ever see Spotlight, there's a great that's a great movie, by the way. I cried like a baby. But the psychiatrist says there's like a because the Catholic seminarians they because they repress that aspect of their life, like it does so much psychological damage. You know what I mean? I was like, God damn, like that ain't the truth. You know what I mean?
It's true, man. There's, in my opinion, there's like different types of homophobia that like I have like this deep homophobia that like I hate, that I like have to like work at all the time and like go to gay bars and just like expose myself to that culture and stuff, and just like, you know, little by little I feel it fading away. But it's been like years of just repression and like undoing all the damage that was done those 6.5 years. That's all it took. They did a lot of fucked up shit. So
Yeah. So
the homophobics who like don't work at it, or like they press into it, or like love that they're home, you know, like they're like, oh yeah, women. You know, just fuck them, man.
yeah, I found I had to unlearn so many things, like so much of our culture in what would you call it? Conservatism is toxic masculinity. So I just like had this whole, and the Legion really doubled that down for me. It's like, I don't know. So you get out into the world and you gotta, try not to be a dick, for lack of a better expression. You know what I mean? It's just like, if I could go back and undo all the stupid shit I did when I was trying to unbrainwash myself. Goddamn, you know what I mean? Like I want to like write a letter to all these people that I don't even remember and be like, hey, I'm sorry, it was it's my fault, but I'm you can't even explain it. It's like, it's my fault. The Legion told me to do that. It's like, wow, it's your fault. But
That's beautiful, like how you did it with your child, though, man. Like, way to go. Like, it sounds like you gave him the love that you never got yourself, in a sense. Like, it's beautiful.
It's yeah, like I said some things to my parents. Maybe I shouldn't have said, but I was really mad at them for abandoning us. Like fucking, here I am, Lord, I can do what the fuck. She leaves her kid in this temple. I can't remember her name. It was Isaiah or some shit. Ezekiel, I can't remember. All dusty shit. Anyway, but they were doing that. That's not okay. You know what I mean? I would never fucking do it. Took the kids from it. Oh, this is one of those things I was thinking about that I gotta say. I've been thinking about this shit all anyway, but as an actor, and I write a lot of my own stuff too. You unintentionally perform with all this bullshit. Like Mickey Rourke, such a great fucking actor, and his stepfather and stepbrothers like beat him half to death, like every day of his childhood and shit like that. And he gave like the best audition to the actor's studio, because of it. And he was just fucking brilliant, when he was young. Anyway, as an actor, you're shit if you don't have that kind of baggage, as far as like anything. Obviously, the funniest comedians are like, what kind of shit happened to that guy? You know, but dramatic actors too. And you know, I want to write this line, like deliver it like an Al Pacino, and just be like, you took 7 years of my life. You know what I mean? Like, just like,
Give it.
you know, just like fucking, but like everything behind that line is like what they fucking did. You know what I mean? Like, just like, you know, like this dude that's like in prison or wrongfully, I don't know, but something, you know, something with a lot of juice, just like fucking win the Academy Award for that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Win an award for that.
No, I mean the awards. But every actor has given their Oscar speech like 5 times, you know, because we're vain as fuck. But anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
You're not
No.
talking too much. Do not. We
No, if you
talk
were-
all the time. So
Yeah. If you weren't talking this much, we'd be mad at you.
Oh, really? I was wondering which one of my many personalities to put on before. Should I be the quiet guy that has to get, you know, has to listen or reply? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna go full, you know, motard here.
Hell yeah. No, we love it.
I forget the beer and coffee over here. So this beer is awful, but it's my character drinks. It's called PBR. Tastes like fucking ass juice right there.
tastes like shit.
But it's I'm a method actor, so I've been method acting this for like 2 years, and like try to calm it down for my kid, but basically playing myself, you know, like Joaquin and I'm still here. You ever saw it? It's like it's a mockumentary. Casey Affleck, and he pretends in real life he pretended to quit acting and try to become a rapper. And so he does that for like a year. And he goes on Letterman, and he's like all in just, I don't know, I can't explain it. You gotta see it. But he's a character, and he gives a show, and he goes like record with like Puff Daddy. And I don't think they were in on the joke, you know. But it's such an amazing you know, it shows like him and River in the beginning in whatever South American country they're from, and then at the end he goes back to, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it's about life. It's beautiful. But Casey Affleck said, who also got the best actor Oscar, that was the best acting that Joaquin ever did. Anyway, I'm basically making a feature like that right now. It's just like trying to communicate the feelings that we have from the being ex-legionary to story about a veteran.
Yeah. Wow.
Very fitting transition. Yeah, I like it.
I have another. Here I go again. But I have like 2 other movies that I want to do about the Legion. One of them is like this coked out 80s Baptist preacher guy, like traveling preacher, and he's basically like a Maciel. But I'm gonna play him, so he can't be a pedophile, because I just can't play a pedophile. Will not play a pedophile. Will not. But he's like he's just like addicted to everything, and then he's getting up there and getting all coked up and getting like these fire and brimstone, like Ezekiel 3:7, you know, and like fuck, you know, shit like that. And then he's doing the Maciel lifestyle, but in like Southern 1980s Baptist culture or whatever. And I haven't really fleshed it out, but I got to do that. And but the one I have this like Godfather-esque type of shit that I want to do about Maciel. But I was talking to my brother Brandon, and I was like, I really want to honor him that way. You know what I mean? Because he was such a fucking douche. You know.
Like you have to bring the bad of everything he did out, though.
Absolutely, 100.
Like,
yeah. No, I already thought about like specific scenes and stuff, but just kind of show him at different stages and make the audience believe that he was good, and then at some point like flip the switch, and you get to see all the other stuff.
So our lives, exactly.
Yes. I was thinking of doing one from the seminarian's perspective, like actually I have exactly the story in my head. It's kind of, it's like a gay love story, but one of them leaves and one of them stays, and the one that stays becomes a priest, and then he leaves him, or no, he doesn't leave. He gets a letter from this guy, and he goes to see him, and when he gets there, he doesn't know what to expect, but he gets to witness his suicide, because of PTSD from the seminary. So there's that.
Deep.
And there's another one, where like it's like following Maciel, and it's kind of like a, what would you compare it? Like Traffic, like vignettes of things, and it goes back and forth, and then you see like what he did and shit like that. And you got to have the words at the end come up, and like Maciel died in whatever, and he was never prosecuted for his crimes. That motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like, all that shit. If there's a hell, he's in it. That's for sure.
Yeah, for
Better
sure.
be, at least.
I think that I defended him.
We all did.
Oh my god! Like
Yeah.
you met him, right? Like you met him.
I never did.
I
Met
never
him
did.
so many times. Me and Kevin, like, we shook his hand. He was like, his hands on our shoulders and not our balls, but that didn't.
Lucky.
But he was like, hasta morir in the raya, till death on the battlefield. And the fact that I still remember that shit shows how much of a sociopath that guy is. You know what I mean? But like, that kind of shit leaves a mark. Like people fucking worship that guy. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Literally like Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, I feel Jesus. Yeah. But I defended. They told us that he stole money. And then they told us that he had a couple families, and then they waited like a year or two. I can't remember, like a year. Well, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, to tell us that he raped kids. And I was like, you couldn't lead with that? Like, don't you think that would be important information, to withhold? But they knew what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Softening the blow.
Softening the blow, man. Holy shit. But I feel like after we found out about that, like everybody kind of, something really snapped in everybody, you know what I mean? Like, and like, this is weird, but like, and then he probably went to confession with like so many people so that they couldn't tell anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder if he actually confessed that stuff though.
I don't know, what kind of mental disorder is that? You know what I mean? Was he like dissociative or some shit like that? I don't know. Still his fault. Anyway, but the point being, I defended him for the longest time, and then when I found out about the pedo shit, I was like, yeah, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, priest having sex and raising families, like, okay, that's not so scandalous anymore for me, but like, we draw the line.
Touch a kid, that's a different issue.
I don't know how many times I try to explain him to people, and being like, if you were alive today, I'd kill myself.
Yeah.
And then just not even batting an eye. And the people, it's like,
you have to get in line.
They had never experienced, no one, like, it was like a historical psychopath. And like, you don't think that, like, most people never meet people like this.
Yeah.
This scale, you know what I mean? Or at least don't know that they do.
It's like Jeffrey Epstein level.
I remember another actor that I know, because we were talking. He was like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a waiter." And he's like, "Oh, I waited tables." And I was watching. It was when like Mindhunter 2 came out or some shit like the second season. And so anyway, long story short, he's like, I was a waiter for years and years, and like for 7 years, I waited on. Can't remember who the guy was, like some sort of John Wayne Gacy type guy. You know what I mean? Like 7, and he was like super nice and everything. Meanwhile, he's like a fucking serial killer. We did that.
Yeah.
I look at all these other, like, it's interesting listening to you guys because like, and the guests, because we're pretty much alone. I'm lucky I have Kevin I can talk to, but like we're pretty much alone. Like in our places, a lot of us, like, we don't talk to no one understands, you know what I mean? And you see different like patterns, like you see people like me that like married the first thing that like made our dick get hard, and then we had a kid, and then we got divorced, or we didn't have a kid, or we had 5 kids and we stayed, and then you see these other guys that like built their own companies, and you see these other guys that like have complete mental breakdowns, and I feel like I'm like every single one of those guys. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like the patterns anyway, that you don't see in the world.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm rambling again.
Well, we're winding down.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I just want to see like if we can plug some stuff for you.
Sure.
Under the Mercy.
Under the Mercy, yeah, that's the last film that we did. It's on YouTube right now, so it's nice and free up there.
It was I loved it.
Oh, thanks. So you watched it? Oh shit. It's
Yeah.
crazy time people actually saw it.
Yeah, no, it was a visceral, moving piece. I just thought there were some really good shots. I like the puking scene especially.
Oh my god, puking scene.
That was really good. But it looked like a lot of work, and I was really impressed with the outcome.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Everyone who's listening to it, just YouTube it, Under the Mercy.
Yes, 39 minutes. It's nice for like taking a long shit. If you watch it on the TV, it's better.
Yeah.
It's also great shit material.
It looks good on a big screen. Ben is in it, right?
Yeah, he plays. His band is in the intro. I love working with his band because, we just playing a drug addict. We were in the back room before the show, and they're doing a show at a nightclub. It was the first scene, and I was nervous because I had never had even a speaking role in a movie before. And anyway, so we just did a bunch of drugs in the back, and then I went out like in character. That's not true. I smoked weed and drank a bunch of coffee and like did a whole vial of vodka, and then but I didn't at the time. I had never done coke, but we were snorting evaporated milk. So I had to get my nose all fucked up for the scene. I never do that. Seriously, doesn't do anything. Anyway.
Well,
the movie is I don't know what to say, but it was powerful. It was powerful to do that, and like I said, it was like the first time my life made sense. Doing acting for that. We're in a couple festivals. I submitted to like so goddamn many.
Yeah.
So that was cool. We won something that one, but whatever.
Hey, best of luck.
Thanks. No, it's It's good.
And when are your next movies coming out? Or-
So I'm doing that one now called The Sentinel. It's the one about the veteran with PTSD who's trying to take care of his kid. So we've been filming that since June. We're going to film for about a year. I'm trying to get like the Richard Linklater boyhood effects, where like we both gets older and seasons change and all that shit. So, but it's coming along really well. We film like once every 3 weeks. My son is just an incredible actor. I was so nervous to work with him because to put him on the spot like that, child acting is difficult to work with, and he's amazing, and it's going to be a really good movie.
That's great.
I'm excited about that. I got a couple other ones in the pipeline, but I promised my son to take a couple of years off. The last one that I did, I had to quit because it's a long story, but I was spending too much time away from Harrison, so I wanted to do a movie with him, and so making this movie together, so it's pretty fun.
It's exciting, man. I can't wait.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I just remembered so much, but it was it was good for me.
Hey, you got to find what helps out.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for doing this. And thank you for doing the show. Even the show, like you think they're not going to make a difference. Like, we listen to those, and all however many 35 of us, we listen. They help because somebody else out there is going through the same shit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're all here for everyone if anyone ever needs anything. So we're all a phone call or text away. So
Or a DM away.
or DM, yeah. Slide in.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been Cucks for Christ.